A Democratic group is working to recruit 5,000 candidates for a range of local elected offices in an effort to, quote, fight subversion of future election results. According to a Politico report, the group hopes to raise $80 million over the next 3 years, and the program aims to recruit candidates in 35 states for a wide array of jobs in offices set to handle elections between now and 2024. For more on this, let's welcome in the author of this story, Elena Schneider. She is a national security reporter for Politico. Hi, Elena. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
So tell us about this group known as Run for Something. What is it aiming to do exactly?
So Run for Something is a Democratic group that sort of sprang out of the Donald Trump resistance movement that happened immediately after his election in 2016. And they were interested in recruiting candidates for positions up and down the ballot, everything from school board to state legislature to Congress. And they were there to try and help train and recruit these candidates to run for office, in part because the Democratic sort of establishment hasn't been as good at focusing on those sort of lower level, more local positions. But in light of everything that's happened after 2020 and the former president continuing to sort of push some of these election conspiracy theories, concerns about certification of the election, they've now turned their focus almost exclusively to recruiting and training candidates to run for positions that are involved with election certification. That looks like a county probate judge in Alabama or a county clerk in Wisconsin or a board of supervisors position in Michigan. So these are, you know, all states handle election certification differently. So this is a really sort of sprawling and ambitious project to try and get candidates to run for these seats. But it's one that they feel like is really important given everything that's happened over the last few years around election certification and administration.
You know, in a way, Democrats are kind of playing catch up here because Republicans recognized a couple of years ago the power inherent in some of these positions that are supposed to be nonpartisan. So does this group recognize that it does have to kind of speed up to catch up to what Republicans are already doing? And are they going to be able to field candidates this time around, this election cycle in 2022, or are they looking more at 2024?
So you're absolutely right. They are playing catch up. They openly acknowledge it, that Democrats have not been as aggressive on this issue. Somebody like Steve Bannon, who's a former Trump aide and advisor, has aggressively been pushing and recruiting people through his podcast and all sorts of different forums to try and get people into these kinds of positions. So they're not too far behind, but they certainly do not have quite the infrastructure to push for these candidates. And they're trying to build it sort of while the plane is in flight, so to speak. So they've raised about $6 million of the $80 million target that they have. And it's sort of a rolling program over the next 3 years because, like I said, each state handles election administration differently. These positions and offices get elected at different times. There are all kinds of different filing deadlines to make sure that they can even get candidates on the ballot. It's sort of it's a rolling process where they're constantly working on different states to try and get people onto the ballot, to recruit people to run for these offices over the next 3 years that will then play a role both in 22 and in 24 in terms of election administration. But yeah, like you said, they are behind and sort of this is an attempt to try and catch up, an awareness that there has been this vacuum on the Democratic side and they're trying to fill it, even though, as you also said, these roles have traditionally been nonpartisan. They haven't drawn the sort of partisan attention or partisan spending that we are now seeing in these races.
And so what kinds of candidates are they looking for? We know that on the Republican side, there has been this big push to change election law. And there's also been a push to get people into these positions who might be more comfortable, let's say, throwing out ballots or conducting more audits of election results if they don't like those results. So are Democrats looking for something similar when they talk about putting candidates into these roles, or are they looking more for people who want to go by the book?
Look, when I asked Amanda Littman, one of the co-founders of Run for Something, about her qualms about getting involved in these nonpartisan races, her explanation was that the Republican Party has made this a partisan issue, and therefore Democrats need to not unilaterally disarm, but engage instead, because it's becoming unfortunately seen through partisan lens. And I think that certainly if you would ask them, they would say they are looking to recruit people who are interested in being pro-democracy, who are going to follow the rules, who are going to run things by the book. But certainly, look, at the end of the day, this is a partisan situation. They have a partisan bent. Republicans do as well. So it's an unfortunate sort of new sign of where our politics are going, that races like this, that offices like this are seeing this kind of attention from both parties. But again, I think that Run for Something would certainly say that they're looking for pro-democracy candidates who want to conduct things fairly.
Well, it'll be an interesting group to watch. Elena Schneider, thank you so much for coming in to tell us about it.
Thanks for having me.